Have you ever wondered why the strongest individuals often find themselves facing the toughest battles? It seems almost paradoxical that those with the greatest willpower are met not with clear skies, but with gathering storms. And yet, it is precisely within those storms that their character is forged. Today, let us embark together on an exploration of daily Stoic habits for a better life, focusing on the inextricable link between willpower and the challenges that shape us. Over the next 45 minutes, we will move beyond the misconception that a strong will guarantees smooth sailing. Instead, we'll discover how Stoic wisdom teaches us to welcome every trial as an opportunity to deepen our resilience, sharpen our resolve, and cultivate the inner strength that carries us through life's fiercest tempests. Long after the glory of Rome had faded, the words of Marcus Aurelius continued to echo in the halls of human experience. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. When we first encounter this idea, it can feel counterintuitive. Weren't we taught that strength makes our path easier? That if only we could summon enough grit and determination, the world would bow to our efforts. Yet Stoicism reminds us that life does not unfold at our bidding. Instead, it unfolds exactly as it must, and our task is to meet reality head-on, armed with the knowledge that every obstacle we overcome becomes a stepping stone to greater wisdom. Imagine standing at the foot of a steep cliff, sheer rock rising before you as the wind whistles through narrow crevices. You might think that a person of unshakable will would breeze up the face, but the Stoic approach is to acknowledge the difficulty, to breathe deeply, and to place each handhold with conscious intention. The climb itself becomes an act of mindfulness and a testament to your capacity to persist. In the same way, life's trials are not tests to be feared, but invitations to engage fully in the practice of living. This month, your challenge is simple yet profound. Adopt daily Stoic habits and observe how they transform your relationship with adversity. Begin each day by grounding yourself in a brief reflection. Before you check your email or scroll through social feeds, take a moment to affirm your priorities. Let a guiding thought from Epictetus anchor you. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Speak it aloud or write it in your journal. Feel its resonance, not just in your mind, but in your posture, your breath, the way you step into the morning light. As you move through your routine, practice the art of negative visualization. Picture, for a few quiet minutes, life without the comforts you often take for granted, your health, your family, the roof over your head. Rather than darkening your mood, this deliberate imagining will light up your appreciation for the present moment. In a country that prizes progress and abundance, we sometimes forget that gratitude is not a luxury, but a lifeline. When we lose sight of gratitude, we slip into entitlement, and entitlement breeds dissatisfaction. Negative visualization snaps us back to reality, revealing the abundance hidden in the everyday. When obstacles arise, whether it's a deadline at work, a sudden health scare, or a disagreement with someone you care about, remember to pause and ask yourself, what is within my control here? You cannot command the outcome of every meeting or dictate another person's reaction, but you can manage your own response. In that still space between stimulus and reaction lies your power. Practice responding with composure rather than reacting with emotion. Over time, you'll find that the storm clouds lose their edge, and you stand at the center of turmoil as an unmovable rock. Perhaps the most practical of the daily Stoic habits is journaling. Each evening, set aside 10 minutes to review your day. Identify one moment when you exercised your willpower. Maybe you chose to pause instead of shout, or you resisted the urge to scroll through distracting apps. Acknowledge it with a line of praise. Then, pinpoint one area for growth. Perhaps you let impatience get the better of you during rush hour traffic, or you reacted defensively when receiving feedback. Write it down without judgment, then close with a note of gratitude for the lesson learned, for the opportunity to improve, for the lesson that real strength is built in vulnerability. By the second week of this practice, you may notice a curious shift. You wake before your alarm, not out of obligation, but out of genuine anticipation for your morning reflection. The coffee you brew tastes richer because you've practiced negative visualization. Traffic snarls become a training ground for your equanimity instead of a source of rage. Conversations that once left you tense now flow more smoothly because you've learned to listen first, speak second, and regulate the impulse to dominate or dismiss. Midway through the month, challenge yourself to a Stoic exercise in the real world. Perhaps volunteer with a community organization and notice the discomfort that comes from stepping outside your comfort zone. Or try a digital detox, cease all non-essential screen time for a full day. When the urge to check notifications strikes, lean into the unease rather than fleeing from it. Observe how your willpower expands in the tension of resistance. Epictetus taught that freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. In this exercise, you reclaim freedom by refusing to be swept up in every ping and distraction. As challenges surface, maybe a demanding project at work stretches you thin, or caring for a loved one tests your patience, call upon the Stoic mantra, Amor Fati, love of fate. Embrace your circumstances, even the unwelcome ones, as the very material from which you weave your character. Instead of resisting what is, ask yourself, how can this moment serve my growth? What wisdom lies hidden in this trial? When your daughter interrupts you repeatedly while you're on a tight deadline, you can greet the frustration with gratitude. You are here, in this moment, practicing love even when it collides with obligation. By the third week, your journal becomes a tapestry of transformation. You record fewer moments of shame or regret, and more instances of mindful action. You jot down the times when you remembered that the obstacle is the way, and you carried on with calm resolve. You note how each practiced pause has rewired your default response. You may even share these reflections with a friend or mentor, a practice the Stoics called sympathia, or communal sharing, which deepens your accountability and reminds you that wisdom grows in community. In this period, revisit the words of Marcus Aurelius as you navigate your daily routine. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Let that instruction guide your actions instead of your intentions. Notice when your speech betrays anger, and right then, choose words rooted in kindness. Notice when you feel tempted to cut corners, and right then, choose integrity. In these micro moments, character is not an abstract ideal, but a living choice you make again and again. As the final week of your 30-day journey approaches, you may find that the real challenge is not outside you, but within. The temptation to fall back into old habits. That well-worn path of reaction and distraction still beckons. So summon your will one last time and recommit to the practice. Review your journal, reread the quotes that moved you most, and renew your intention. Let the memory of each morning reflection and the peace it brought anchor you against the pull of complacency. Finally, when you complete the full month, pause to honor your achievement. Whether you've stuck perfectly to the habits or stumbled along the way, you have engaged in an experiment of self-mastery. Share your biggest insight with someone you trust and carry that lesson forward. Remember that Stoicism is not a trophy to be displayed, but a garden to be tended each day. The tools you've honed, reflection, negative visualization, mindful response, journaling, are not relics of antiquity, but living practices ready to serve you in the months and years to come. In the end, you'll discover that greater willpower did not smooth your path. It strengthened your ability to walk through whatever terrain presented itself. The Stoic life does not promise ease, but it offers a compass for navigating life's storms with dignity, resilience, and a sense of purpose. It teaches us that challenges are not enemies to be vanquished, but allies in disguise, forging the very virtues we seek: courage, temperance, wisdom, justice, through the heat of trial. If this month-long Stoic challenge has resonated with you, I invite you to leave a comment, sharing the practice that moved you most, or a moment when you embodied the obstacle is the way in your own life. Your stories will inspire others on their journey. And be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell, because in our next video, We will dive deeper into Stoic strategies for facing life's unexpected heartbreaks and losses with grace. May you carry these daily habits forward, not as a rigid regimen, but as a melody guiding your days. May your responses become steadier, your gratitude deeper, and your appreciation for the present moment ever richer. For in the embrace of challenge lies the path to a better life, and that path begins today, with the strength of your own will and the timeless wisdom of the Stoics.